Brent with the Downing Group. Today we're going to talk about legal issues when it comes to buying and selling real estate. So welcome back to the channel. I am honored to have my friend Andy on with us today. He is a prominent real estate attorney in the Columbia Midlands area. In fact, the entire state of South Carolina, right?
That's right. We do. Yeah. We statewide. Sure.
Okay. So I thought it would be good. We haven't talked legal stuff in a while, to just kind of cover some of at least the big stuff that you should know when buying or selling real estate. So, Andy, what do you think? What are some things people should make sure that they pay close attention to?
Right. And Brent, thanks so much, and we look forward to maybe helping some of you guys out there. One of the things you need to keep in mind is that in South Carolina, you have the right to select your own lawyer, okay? And that's important because most times folks really don't know who to select. That's why having a kind of a team approach like Brent and I have, where we try to service the client from A to Z, really helps in that process. One of the things that is really important is the structure of the deed. Many of you are going to be buying property with your wife or with your husband, and it's important to understand how that deed needs to be structured. In South Carolina, we try to structure deeds of couples or married couples as joint tenancy with rights of survivorship. Now, what does that mean? That means John and Jane Doe buy a piece of property. Well, what happens if John Doe dies? With a joint tenancy deed with rights of survivorship, his interest immediately goes to Jane, which is what we want in this process.
Usually anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Well, and with a joint tenancy deed, that's how it's structured.
Right.
That's how most folks want it to happen. The problem that we've seen over the years is that they assume that that's the case, but in fact, their real estate closing attorneys aren't really making sure that that's the case. So we actually discuss that at the closing table. So that's a big thing. The other thing is this.
Well, hang on a second. Just so you know, a deed, tell them exactly what that is.
That's
just,
right. When I say deed, I mean title to the property. So when you're signing your title to your real estate over to someone, or someone signing their title to real estate over to you, that is a deed. That is a general warranty deed. And there can be other structures of that, but in most cases, it's a general warranty deed.
So it's like your car title. When
That's
you get
exactly
the actual
right.
paper saying you own that thing, nobody has any claims against it or whatever. I guess in real estate, though, there could be claims.
There could be claims, but that's
mortgages and so forth. Okay.
That's part of what we do is we search title. Whenever when you sign a contract, Brent representing you, you sign a contract to purchase or sell a home. That contract's going to come to us. We're going to search title to make sure that there are no liens or encumbrances or mortgages, and if there are, we're going to take care of those in closing.
Right. Okay. So real important that you pick a good closing attorney that has a crackerjack title search department too, right?
That's right.
What about one last thing, and then we'll wrap up. But what about like title insurance?
Title insurance
What is that all about?
It's so important. Title insurance insures your title to the property. So, give you a stupid example. This actually happened in a neighborhood here in the Midlands. It was a Lake Murray community, and so you have a lot of folks that have docks all along the lake. Well, there was fringe property the lake conveyed years ago to another family, but for some reason it was misindexed. Well,
misindexed.
It was not properly indexed in the record, so
not recorded right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So essentially, what happened was, a title claim was made by that family as to all those homeowners that had their docks on the properties, and that was a big deal. Mm-hmm. A lot of those folks didn't have title insurance, so they had to pay lawyers to defend it. The folks that had title insurance had a lawyer to defend it, and then they were able to be indemnified from it. That case was settled.
Yeah. So what happens is when you buy real estate, your closing attorney we'll go back through all the records at the county, right, to
That's
see
good.
who's owned
Yeah,
the
that's
property,
exactly right.
and make sure that there's no claims of ownership against the property that you're buying, right?
That's correct.
And that way, now usually that goes back 40 years.
Usually it's 40
Okay.
years, but title insurance covers those things that aren't of record. Okay, it covers those things that could be a problem that there's no notice of.
Right.
So that's why it's so important.
Okay. Any other, one last big thing or big
Let
mistake?
me tell you one last big thing, because this is becoming, more and more problem, and we feel like we have got a good process in place here at Arnold McKay. Whenever you close on a transaction, if you're purchasing a transaction, oftentimes you'll be required to bring money to the table, okay? To essentially bring some additional cash to the table. We require that be wired, okay? And we give you wiring instructions to do that. What we want you to do is to call and make sure that you verbally verify those wiring instructions with someone here in our office, because we want to make sure there's no wire fraud going on. So that's also important. But we're also available to address any questions that you have. Our phone number is 803-744-0824. I'm Andy. My law partner is Randy, but you call for me. Call for Andy, and I'll be glad to address any questions that you may have about the process or your contract specifically.
Yeah, well, thanks, Andy. And that wire fraud is a thing. I mean, there's people that will email asking you for your wiring instructions, and then you send them to them. If your real estate agent or your closing attorney isn't on top of their game, that could end up, they could end up sending the money.
Serious
to the wrong
problem.
place.
So
yeah, big time. So
you want to verbally verify.
Right. And also too, you guys do other stuff other than real estate.
Yeah, we do. We are a full service law firm. We do a lot of personal injury, wrongful death, trucking accidents, this kind of stuff. And then my law partner also handles a lot of family law. So we'd love to, really form the relationship with you. That's our goal. We appreciate the real estate closing we get from you, but our goal is to become your family lawyer. So.
Okay, great. Well, again, thanks, Andy.
Thanks so much,
yeah,
Brent. We appreciate it.
And if y'all have any real estate questions or anything to do with any of that, feel free to call me on my personal cell, which is right below this video, or my email, or DM us on our Facebook page. Have a great week.